What's going on, Skate fam? This is your boy DJ R. Cole.
And I am the queen, and you're tuned in to Boss Talk.
First and foremost, happy Friday, y'all. It's Friday. We
Oh,
made it
Lord.
through the
We
week.
made it. We made
We
it.
made it through the week. So that means for me, for the next 2 days, I ain't gotta be at the office.
Says who?
But I'm pretty sure I'll be up here anyways because I have work to do. Got a lot. We have a lot of stuff that we're working on. One of the
Yeah.
things that I want to say real quick before we get into our interview, I sent out a push notification the other day about the changes on the app. So where it used to say videos, it now says interviews, and
Uh-huh.
that's where all of the interviews are going to be at. Below that says skate videos. So
Right.
a lot of times on air when we're talking about the different YouTube clips and everything that
Right.
the queen sees and she pulls up, we're gonna put those clips in there so you guys don't have to look for them. So even if you guys have some pretty dope YouTube videos or whatever that you guys think the skate world needs to see, let's make it easier for them to see it. So just excuse me, send us the link and we can add it in there for you guys. Okay,
And
because
all of our interviews, we also have a clip of some of their skating abilities or something they've done, an interview. So
right.
that will also be in there for anyone we have interviewed, past and present.
Right. So if we don't have you in there yet, just drop us a line, send us a text message, 559 Connect, 559-566-6328, and we can make sure that we get it in there. Because there's a lot of good skate videos out there that I
I
never even
know,
knew about.
I know.
Because a lot of times I think we spend most of our time looking for skate parties, and the
Yeah,
skate parties always
right.
pop up.
Yeah,
So we tend to miss our skaters.
yeah.
So now we'll make it easy for you guys.
All right
All
now.
right. So, you have anything?
I don't.
Okay. All right. So today we actually have the man himself in the building. Um,
Mm.
we're gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself, and we're just gonna go straight into it because this is a live interview. So if anything comes out my mouth that don't need to be said, I'm apologizing right now. I'm sorry, y'all. I did have my coffee, so I am woke right now. Because I was told that you be talking about me when don't be having my
That's
coffee.
correct.
Ty told me
Yes.
that. so,
He
I
needs his
have,
coffee, y'all.
so I have my coffee, so I'm good. Plus it's Friday. So
Yes.
all right. So we're gonna go ahead and let you introduce yourself, my man. Why don't you let everybody know who you are?
My name is Mo Sanders from Tacoma, Washington, aka Quadzilla. See me play roller derby
Mhm.
or see me on some random TV shows from back in the day. You might know me. Uh, yeah.
Mhm. All right. So we always like to start with our signature question. So everybody who's listening right now, even though you guys are all at home, say it
Hmm.
along with us. How long have you been skating?
This year will be 44 years.
What?
That's before I was even born. Hey,
What? You don't look a
man,
day over 20. How do you do that?
everybody in that water. I'm telling you,
Is that
I'm
water, the
telling you,
alkaline?
I'm telling you, it's the water. It's got to be the
It's
water.
probably skating. I don't know.
You
Black
know,
don't
you're
crack.
about
You
the
know how they
third
say
person
it.
who said that. It's skating. It's not,
Hmm.
is it? Now I'm not doing anything, but it's the skating.
Well, okay. So, I mean, I'm not a fitness junkie or anything like that. I don't like hang out at the gym or do stuff like that. I don't smoke,
Hmm.
never have, never drank,
Hmm.
never did any recreational drugs in my entire life, nothing like that.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
that could be one thing, but yeah, I just roll.
Man, so the message
Hey,
for today is
it's
just say no. All right.
and roll and roll.
So I know I want to ask you about your nickname, Quadzilla, because that's like one of the dopest nicknames I've heard in the skate world because I'm a Godzilla fan already.
I know,
So
right?
Me too.
Quadzilla, you gotta be a beast on them skates. I mean, because otherwise you can't earn that name. You ain't a
Yeah,
beast on it,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, I started, doing roller derby and stuff. My friends always used to tell me like, every time I get on skates, I'm always breaking stuff. So I'm either breaking people, I'm, breaking a ramp if I fall on it or something like that. And it's like you're a monster on skates.
Mm,
Okay.
And so I like Godzilla as well. I've
yeah.
Hmm.
always been a fan of like Japanese pop culture and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And so he's like, yeah, you're like a monster on skates. You're like like a Godzilla on skates. And then we call them quads, and he was like, "Oh, dude, you it's like a Quadzilla." And I was
Okay.
like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Oh, I could rock with that."
I know that's
So
right.
then I just kept it,
Mm.
for the moniker for when you play roller derby, everybody's got to have your little skate name. So I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
all right. I was like, cool. I was like,
Yeah.
skate on quads. I like Godzilla. And then it was a whole, you're a monster on skates thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's when it just kind of stuck. It's like, okay, Quadzilla. And then there you go.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can say this: a lot of times in the skate community, we hear people's names all the time, but we never really get a chance to,
Mhm.
excuse me, really meet them and
Yeah.
talk to them and everything like that. And I've heard your name for years.
Yeah.
Same thing with like all of the Iceland, Philly, Breeze, all
Mhm.
all those names. But now we
Right.
have the opportunity to talk to you, and uh, I was expecting somebody light skinned, but but but
Why?
hey,
Because I'm so nice?
Now look, dark skinned brothers on the comeback.
yes,
Just
I
tell.
feel good 'cause I'm dark
Hey.
skinned too. So you know what I'm saying, especially with this yellow shirt I got on, hey, y'all don't understand. I look like that little brown piece on the banana. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so it's definitely a pleasure meeting you. So let's talk about some of the things that you've done in the skate community. You were mentioned earlier TV and everything, but let's start from the beginning. So you
Yeah.
started skating back in 44. I mean, not 44. I'm sorry. Maybe it's too
He's
much
a hell of
coffee.
a skater.
I
Man,
was about 6. Yeah, I was about 6 or so.
6 or so. Okay. And
Yeah.
do you remember what it was like for you around that time, around that era?
Did you start roller derby or did you start just regular skating?
No, I started as regular skate. So
Okay.
in Tacoma, in the Pacific Northwest in general, the climate's always kind of overcast, rainy, whatever.
Mhm.
So you don't always have the chance to go outside and do, like regular activities all the time. Running the streets unless it's summertime.
Mm.
Mhm.
So there's rinks everywhere. But everybody always skated. My dad was a big skater. He was a local firefighter, and he was known occasionally to skate to work, or skate home from the bar or something like that.
Skate
I
to a
hope he
fire.
wasn't drunk.
I hope you gonna skate into a fire.
He might have been. He might have been. Don't quote me on that. And then, so then, it was like it was a lot of people. It's a community thing.
Mm.
You went skating with your cousins and your family and everybody else, and people you went to school with. But it was a cheap way for to get entertainment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And for us, it was always the cheapest babysitter on the planet.
All right
Yeah.
now.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Go with your your Aunt Berta and
Mhm.
your cousins and your
Mhm.
sister Nicole and everybody. Don't get them. Get on the bus.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
get in the
Yeah.
car. Get on the bus.
Yeah.
A big old paper sack full of popcorn and go to the
Dang.
skating rink.
Hey,
And
that
you
was
go
some
and sit at
time
the
ago.
skating rink from 6 o'clock to midnight,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and you spent like $7. There
Yeah.
you go, and you ain't got to worry about the kids going nowhere, doing nothing. So
Nowhere.
it was just like Wednesday night, then it
Mhm.
was Friday night, Saturday night, and that was the jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot,
These
by the
young
time
kids don't know nothing about that.
Nah, back then, if you was at the ring that long, by the time you got home, your parents didn't have to work. You was going to
Nothing.
bed.
You went to bed.
You know,
Right,
you was
exactly.
tired.
And then it progressed from that, from going with our with our aunts and our cousins and everybody else to
Mhm.
the local spot. Then it progressed to our parents dropping us off later on, and pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Y'all don't have a car, y'all ain't old enough yet. Here you go. Here's $10. Drop you off at 6 o'clock. Pick you up at 12 o'clock.
Mhm.
And your parents got 6 hours of free time, and they got to
Yeah.
worry about you because you're locked up in the rink with your homies. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
And
that's kind of what it was.
And the beautiful part about that is like in current times you would never drop your kid off and just leave them. But in our time you drop them off and you wouldn't leave that rink. It ain't no sneaking out, and the rink
Mhm.
owners make sure you stayed there. They made sure
Mhm.
you had something to eat and something to drink, and you could
Yep.
stay there for hours on end, where we don't have that luxury in this day and time to do something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So, all right. So when you you can basically say you came from a lineage of
Yeah.
skaters. And
He's a rink rat.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I'm a rink rat to this day. I
Yeah.
still. I mean, you watch my Instagram or something like that, or my Facebook posts, and I'm trying to be in the ring every single as much as I possibly can. And you know, I play roller derby as well. So you know, when I started doing that, I looked at it as it's just another way for me to get some more skate time in.
Right.
You know, and everybody was thinking like, oh, you can play roller derby and you know beat up people and blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah. And I just looked at it as I get to skate more
yeah.
because usually ain't no sessions right now.
Oh,
But now,
okay.
like, ooh,
So
okay,
that was the
I can
draw.
go play. I can play roller derby. Well, you know, I watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. I'm a '70s baby.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a heyday, like in the '70s. Like it was still jumping off, and so I remember seeing all the stuff. And you're like, okay, roller derby, but you never thought you would actually get into it, you know, something like that. But then as it came around, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I kind of like that. And
So
then you know that transition from you know my other skate life into my current you know skate life.
so like for roller derby, you pretty have to be physically fit because it's a very
Yeah.
physical sport. Have you ever gotten injured? You know, I mean, your name is
Not
Quadzilla, so I'm pretty sure you was doing the damage. But you know, were
the
you ever, you know, anything ever happened to you per se?
I've been fortunate not to have a major injury.
Mm-hmm.
Ruptured a burst a sac on my elbow. I just had like this big giant thing sticking up out my elbow one time, and I dislocated, you know, a finger. Other than that, no concussions, no broken bones, no you know injuries that had me laid up for any you know major amount of time. I did pull a hamstring or not hamstring, groin muscle
Okay. So
one time. So
with what is RollerCon? Is that's part of roller derby? Is that like a annual thing with roller derby?
yeah, RollerCon is essentially what Skateathon is for you know the
Oh.
style
Okay.
market.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I have to point out one thing about
yep.
RollerCon that's not like the Skateathon because I need to know why you had to have your ass out at RollerCon because we don't do that at Skateathon.
Who did what?
He said who? He said who?
Who you had on a black spandex with your ass out?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. I looked at it twice.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Cause I said, why the ass out though? Is
Hey,
something
you
wrong?
remember that? Remember that song by Shaggy?
It wasn't
It
me.
wasn't me.
So what inspired that? I must
Okay,
know.
so here
We're gonna make this short
I'll-
because I'm starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable about that whole topic.
No,
So
the ladies need to know about this. I'm putting the YouTube up, y'all.
So in a
I'm gonna go to the
nutshell,
bathroom.
RollerCon is the biggest roller derby convention that they have, and it's all about roller derby. Everything to
Okay.
do with roller derby, with training, with learning, with playing games, with fundraising, with vendors and sponsorship and sales. It's everything. It's everything that we should have for you know. It's essentially like a skateathon,
Okay.
but only bigger and more instructional.
Oh, okay.
So, you know,
Okay.
they have about 300 coaches that
Mhm.
show up there every year, which I was, you know, one of the featured coaches for, you know, 10, 11 years, where we coach classes, 1.5 hour classes to people from all around the world. And I mean, all around the world,
Wow.
everywhere. They come there, they learn from us, then they go and they play games and do this stuff. They watch big high level bouts. They get to meet, they're like, you know, they're icons of the sport, you know, in a one-on-one kind of, you know, thing with the coaching and the training and watch them play, and everybody stays in the same hotel. They all go to the same areas. They all eat in the same areas, you know, so on and so forth. So that's what RollerCon is, and it's a week-long thing, 6 days.
Wow.
There's parties, there's dances, there's proms, there's social skates, there's skate park events, you know, you name it, they have it there. They started doing, you know, like a rhythm, you know, style skating type of events over the past couple years as well. But so that's what RollerCon is.
That's interesting
Guys,
because
yeah.
you never think of roller derby being that big and that
Yeah.
vast because even around here in Houston, there's only like a couple of roller derby
Yeah.
teams, and you very rarely hear
Hear about
anything about them.
anything.
You know.
That's the biggest issue with a lot of the roller derby these days, and it's been a big issue is that there's not a lot of publicity for them. That there's not a lot of exposure, but it's huge.
Yeah.
Roller derby is really big. I mean,
Yeah.
500,000 skaters worldwide easily, and we do World Cups where we have Women's World Cup. They have 42 countries that show up. We do the Men's World Cup, and we have 33 countries that show up.
Wow. Did they ever
So
televise that?
it's everywhere.
Yeah, but do they televise that? It's what he's asking.
Yeah, they do it on like Twitch. They do it on a live stream on YouTube. Yeah, they don't televise it. They've done ESPN 3, which is their online channel, televised the women's derby championships a couple of years, but nothing like in a major way.
Yeah.
That is so dope with all the things that are encompassed in the RollerCon and its whole. I mean, the fact that it's organized so well, but you neglected to tell me why you had your ass out.
Okay, so
we still got to get on that.
So, I don't know anything. Okay, so not kind of. Okay, I'm a little bit infamous for my butt.
Okay.
I'm real uncomfortable now.
Yeah, there you go. And everybody's like, I got a nice butt, or I got a hard butt, or I got a skater butt, or whatever.
Okay.
So this ongoing running joke kind of thing. But anyway, we did this event called Magic Mike versus Chippendales.
Oh, okay.
And so when you have these bouts, it's always like a theme. So the theme was the Magic Mike movie. So it was a bunch of stripper guys, and then Chippendales, another set of stripper guys. So what we did was this thing called Magic Mike versus Chippendales, and what it was is to raise money. It was a fundraiser to raise money for prostate cancer awareness for one of our friends.
Cool.
His dad passed away from prostate cancer, and so we decided to put this bout together. And we're like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to call it that, and it was just to raise money. So people would pay tickets. Then it would come out for the halftime, and then they would we'd dance around and do like the little dance thing routine, and then they would give us money. Whatever. So, we would raise like $7,000-8,000 for this one little bout. So the outfits were no shirts, just shorts, and numbers painted on and bow ties or whatever. Something that looks like Magic Mike and Chippendale. So
and I can say, ladies, he raised a lot of money because I saw the ladies putting money all in between the butt part of where the strip. I seen it. So they raised a good amount of money. So okay.
So we do that every year. It's the fastest selling game that they have there.
I could imagine.
It's the fastest sold out. Was that?
I could imagine.
Y'all see, I'm staying quiet. However,
so that's what it is. So I only do that one time a year. That's it. And I do it just for that. And it's because of I'm Quadzilla. They expect me to be like extra because I've always been known as being extra the way I skate. I was doing all the spins and the jumps and dips and everything before people actually started doing that stuff. So of course I come out there. It's like, okay, you got to show us what's up.
Yeah.
So
well, I can say that $7,000-8,000 got me thinking like I want to let me see what I could do within the thought of just falling on the cold floor and then your booty hitting the ground and getting splinters in it and hemorrhoids coming out. I'm like, I don't know. But anyway,
so
all right, so we're gonna move on.
But were you ever an artistic skater?
No, never.
A figure skater? Okay.
I'm not formally trained in any way. I'm just rink rat. Like I have terrible form when it comes to speed skating. Even though I tried that, I just been a street skater, inline. I was a pro inline skater. Did like some X Games stuff and ASA Pro Tour and NIS events back in the early '90s, mid '90s.
So you're just naturally skilled then. Yeah.
Yeah, I was never a formally trained skater in any way.
Interesting.
And all the skill. So now you don't have to be formally trained. You just master the art within yourself, and you become a beast.
Well, I watched the guys I grew up with, and that was it. if you wanted to be the cool dudes and you wanted to
Right.
hang out with the cool guys, you had to be able to skate,
Yeah.
right? And so, you see these guys and you're like, okay, I got to get this move down because that was a cool move. And then after a while, it started becoming fun to like figure out how to do this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, who were some of your mentors when you were coming up?
Growing up,
Yeah.
like as a kid or just in skating wise?
Just, I mean, I know your dad, he skated, but did he ever, I mean, outside, but did he go in the rink with you? And then, and beyond that, who were some of the mentors when you in high school and beyond?
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird because not really weird, but the way I grew up, I didn't really see or have like a bunch of like mentors that were like, oh, you know what? When I grow up, I'm gonna be like him, or I learned how to do this. It's the classic story. You grow up in the hood, you grow up in, on welfare, you do this, you do that, and you just see people, you see things, but you never think that, one day I could be like him, or one day I could achieve this or do that. It was just kind of never in my mindset.
Right.
And it wasn't something that we were really taught, as kids. Me and my sister were never really taught as kids.
Mm-hmm.
It was just make sure that you have your butt home by dark, don't get killed, and don't go to jail.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Don't embarrass me.
Yeah. All right now. All right now.
That was basically it.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Make sure you are alive. And so, I always idolized Bruce Lee growing up. And I think every kid in the 70s did.
Yeah.
A couple of football players, a couple of hoop players here and there, but
Mm-hmm.
my friend Jerry was a good mentor of mine. My stepdad was, a pretty good mentor. And then skate wise, it was just the local guys. My dude Jerry, Slick Rick, Carlos, Littlefield. These are all guys that I used to watch growing up. Sonny, they were just the guys that were at all the different rinks. So no matter what rink you went to in our area, you would see those guys on the good nights, and you're like, "Yo, there they are." It's the Palace Crew Rhythm Rollers. It's Black Ice. It's these guys and that guys. It's all these different skate crews. So as far as skating went, it was just those local dudes because I didn't really know anybody else. I just like following them.
When did you ever like you spoke about skate-a-thon, and in the derby world you probably moved around a lot, but when did you really start moving around and going to see other places, so you can get a feel of like the national scene?
My first time, I think my first time at skate-a-thon was somewhere around, I want to say it was 96,
Okay.
97. Was that around the early? I might have been the early one. It might have been a little bit after that.
Yeah.
Because I went down to Atlanta and I did a little skate expo. And I was still on my blades.
Okay.
I skated for K2, and I went down to Atlanta and I skated at Cascade and at Sparkles, and then they had a convention center where everybody was doing like little performances, and they had me come down and do this little thing, and then I can't remember that. It had to have been in the late 90s.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe it was around 2001 after I got back from Florida. I was still skating on blades, and then using quads in between. So I was like, use quads here, but I was a sponsored skater, so I had to skate on my inlines, in public because that was part of my contract. So I was doing all my rhythm dance stuff on there. I was down in Venice Beach doing other stuff, out there at the on the skater circle, and then I was traveling around doing that. So I think it was probably around maybe 2000, 2001, maybe the first time I went down to skate-a-thon.
Wow.
So skating has kind of been your life, like that's your life and livelihood, and you've been in the skate world.
It's been my life, literally, my entire life. Wow. So I've worked for lots of companies. I started with the Atom Wheels, which is Matter Wheels back then. I started doing the quad division for them, designed all that stuff. I worked with K2 and Ultra Wheels back in the early 90s. I was a sponsor skater by them for years. Went to doing the quad wheels and stuff with Atom Wheels.
Mhm.
And then worked for under Rydell for 8.5 years with my own brand with
Mhm.
Green Monster Roller Sports. With I designed the Antic skate boots, the
Mhm.
Reckless wheels. I designed the gumball toe stops. I designed the Rydell 3200 boot.
Mm. Wow. Wow.
I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
Yeah, I have. I
Yeah,
have. Yeah.
that was me.
All right now.
I feel like I'm in
Uh,
a Disney movie. I hear the birds chirping in the
I
background
know,
and
cause
stuff.
he look. Y'all got to check out this background. It's like he's in the enchanted forest. You know, like I said, like grapevines just behind him. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So it's literally been my life. I've coached. I've been around the planet. I've gone through. I'm on my third passport. Just from traveling for coaching roller derby and doing different events and appearances and stuff like that. So literally from 94 was my first year going to Europe. I've been traveling ever since.
wow.
Right.
So
Anywhere between 15 and 30 trips a year.
Wow.
so how did the sponsorship start? Like, what did you have to do to get that? Did they find you, or did you go to them, or
Yeah, no, they found me.
okay?
And as a manufacturer, somebody who makes stuff and sponsors people, typically they'll come and find you. Like
Mhm.
they want to have you.
Mhm.
But when I was skating then, it was the heyday of rollerblading and inline skating.
Mhm.
So me and my friends, got our first set of blades around 91, 92,
Mhm.
and we were just skating around doing tricks.
Mhm.
So we were like, hey, these guys do the skate park stuff. They do the ramps. Let's do that. So we got on ramps. We were doing launch ramps and jumping stuff.
Mm.
We put together a little team and we started doing these little demos around the Tacoma, Federal Way, Seattle area for, local events. Like, hey, we're the skate crew. We want to do this. And, we would go out there and we would jump off of launch ramps and do spins and do little dance skate demos
Mhm.
all on our blades. And we would jump over like school buses and ambulances and stuff on our blades.
Oh.
and,
Wow.
and so I got my first sponsorship. I was actually in Vegas for one of their big trade shows. And a guy saw me jump over a bus on my skates.
Okay. Was it the little yellow bus or the big bus?
The short bus.
It was like a Volkswagen bus.
Okay.
Wow.
And so it was a little tiny launch ramp and no down ramp. It was just straight to the concrete. So we were out in front of this place just doing skate tricks. And he saw me jump over this thing. He's like, I need you on my wheels. I was like,
Wow.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm gonna give you free wheels, and you just get all the free wheels, and you just skate, and you just, this is what you skate on. So when you talk to people, this is what you skate on. Oh, okay, cool. And then I got called from K2, which was local in Seattle, about a new inline project they were starting to do because they're known as a ski and snowboard company, and they got into the skate market. So they're like, you're known here in the Northwest. Everybody knows you, for DJing and skating at all different rinks and blah, 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 doing your shows. We want to sponsor you. I'm like, okay, what exactly does that mean? And like, we're going to pay you to skate and travel.
Nice.
Would you say, okay?
I'm like, okay. I'm like,
Nice.
what does that mean? And they're like, $300 a month. And I was like, what?
Little old me.
I was like, $300 a month?
To do what I love to do.
I thought I was balling.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I made it big time. So that's how it started. And they put me on a plane and sent me to Europe for a month and a half.
Hey.
Oh wow. So
I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
So if I want to get a sponsorship, I'm gonna have to jump over a plane with some chaps on with my booty hanging out.
Yeah.
And then maybe I get a good sponsorship.
Maybe.
Yeah,
They may not like mine.
Like, I don't know what kind of sponsorship you gonna get.
Yeah,
it may not be the one you're looking for.
Yeah,
might get you a lotion sponsorship.
Oh my goodness. So how many
I tell people a lot, I get questions because I was running a major brand. It was like the number 2 brand in roller derby for years. And everybody's asking me, how do I get sponsored? How do I get sponsored?
Right. That's a question I was gonna ask you.
I always tell people, and they never hear it directly from the manufacturers. They just go, well, keep trying and keep trying and whatever. And it's like sponsorship is about exposure and sales.
Yeah.
Like that's literally it. If you can't get one or the other, they're not going to be interested.
Right.
They are not interested at all. And you don't even have to be the best skater to get sponsored.
Yeah.
If you're, and now with social media,
right.
Back then it was a whole different thing.
Yeah.
You actually had to travel somewhere to be seen and, to do all this stuff. But now it's just, you got to put information out there. You got to put stuff out there so people can see it, because the sponsors want their name out there. They want to have their name out there all the time. When they see you skating really good, yeah, that person is on brand X. When they see you doing this, they're wearing, brand X clothing, brand X wheels, brand X boots and plates. But, you have to have exposure. You can be the baddest skater in the world, but if you still in, like BFE somewhere, and you ain't never been outside your rink, the sponsor ain't gonna care.
So you gotta be marketable.
What you wear.
So you have to be marketable, and you have to be traveling, because at the end of the day, you're a product.
You are. You're their walking product.
Yeah.
So with your skates, the one you said that you have the boots with Rydell, is it just that they put your name on the boot, or did you actually do some designing with the boot?
No, I actually did the design. So I'm not with them anymore. I haven't been with them. We parted ways about 3 years ago. But when I first came on board, I started out with a wheel brand that they were trying to get into the derby market, but they didn't have anybody, to do the wheels. They didn't have anybody to push it, sponsor it, or, work the, the ends, because I was like the guy and they were just, the company. So, I started out with the wheels, and then I told them like, hey, my goal is to design boots for what I feel is missing in skating. So I literally designed the Antic, boot line from the ground up.
So,
and then, with the 3200 was, that was like one of my final designs before I left the company. And it was actually going to go underneath the Antic brand. The Antic boots that I made. So I sponsored T Stacks for like a year or two, and he was wearing those for a while. And that was the boot that I designed and developed, and he was wearing. But when I left the company, they just took that boot and they put it into the Rydell line and peeled off some of the little features that I had on there, and then just called it the 3200, and then boom, there you go.
So how does that work for you though? Because when you design a boot, do you get residuals, or did you just get paid for designing the boot? And now that they changed the name of the boot, how does that work? Because essentially it's still your design.
But because you work for the company, it belongs to the company.
Okay.
So that's like if you work for Chevy and you design some cars. Okay. When you leave, that's Chevy's car. They're paying you a lot of money to design these things for you. So they get to keep it. Now, if we had another kind of deal where it was separate, like, hey, I'm making these designs, but the designs are my designs. I own that design.
Right.
And I want it to be, I want it to go with me or something like that. Then that's a whole nother avenue. And people do that. Photographers do that. Artists do that as well. You're licensing a picture, a photo, or artwork for a specific use. But if it's used outside of that, you got to pay them for it.
Right.
So yeah, I don't get anything from that now.
Okay.
That's interesting.
They getting it, and I'm working on my own thing.
Yeah. Okay. Is another boot?
Yeah.
Can you say?
Cool. Well, just
by that response, you can't say too much about it.
We'll be happy to promote whatever it is.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm on my wheel game right now though. So I just started my own wheel brand with no big companies, no nothing. It's just me and a buddy of mine that has some extra funds laying around to help me kick it off. And so I got my dance wheels, my rhythm wheels out right now. Just launched that about a month and a half ago.
And where can people find those?
It's www.vonmerlinwheels.com. VONMERLIN wheels.com.
Okay.
Nice.
We'll put that on under your interview so people can find it.
So are these like roller skate wheels or roller blade wheels, or are you doing both?
No. It's roller skating. There's no
Okay.
rollerblading anything.
Okay.
Mhm.
So no more rollerblading for you?
No, I still do.
Okay.
That's not my mainstay. That's
Mhm.
if I want to go cruising down a trail,
Mhm.
I want to go fast and little work, or
Mhm.
occasionally in the skate park or something like that. But
Gotcha.
no, it's quads like 99.999% of the
Okay.
time.
So at Derby, are you still doing Derby
Yep.
yearly as well?
Yep.
Cool.
We our season got it's on
Well,
hold right
yeah,
now.
everybody's
Yeah.
season on
Yeah.
hold.
But
Yeah.
but
When they
still
come
doing
back.
derby. I'm playing with the Texas men's roller derby team
Mhm.
down here out
Cool.
of Dallas. So
I didn't know they had a men's
um,
roller derby team because most of the time you always hear about the
Houston,
Women.
women's, but you never hear about the
Mhm.
men.
well, the roller derby market or the roller derby community itself is probably 95% women.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So the guys is small. It's there, but
Mhm.
it's minuscule compared to the women's side. But Houston has a men's team too.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
Cool.
Wow. Interesting.
See, that's the thing though. You don't hear about it because there's not a lot of exposure for it, and people they just don't know about it. So.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, was there like a point in time where you preferred rollerblades over quads, or?
Well, I always did it, so it wasn't. I necessarily preferred it. It was
Mhm.
more of a work business thing.
Okay.
So for the span that I was skating on blades, that was the time, and it was like outside.
Mhm.
And then after I got sponsored, I couldn't do anything else.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I was kind of locked into that. So occasionally, I'd sneak off and
Put your
on the
quads
quads.
off.
I get on the county brownies or whatever, or the bobos, whatever you guys call them.
Yeah.
And then I'd mess around with those. But then after the sponsorship stuff was over, I was like, well, I can do this full time in in public view.
Mhm.
And then I started getting really heavily into it once the Roll Bounce movie thing came around.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I started doing it a whole lot more because I was practicing with a crew of mine
Mhm.
for this event,
Mhm.
and then doing a couple little shows and stuff. So
Because you appeared at the premiere of Roll Bounce, correct?
no, I
No?
didn't make it to the premiere Roll
Okay.
Bounce. That was Team Break Skate.
Okay.
We did they did a 25 city
Yeah.
tour thing, contest. So my team, Quad Express, won the Seattle division, and then we went down to
Ooh.
LA, and then we battled for that West Coast whatever thing.
Mhm.
So we battled the Scooby Brothers
Uh-huh.
down in LA, and then we
Mhm.
won that one, and that took us to the finals over in Chicago,
Mhm.
where we skated with Ice and those guys
Uh-huh.
from Philly.
Mhm.
And Team Break Skate, Team Rydell,
Mhm.
and then there's another team like Lockwood Boys
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
from Houston.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So there was like 5 of us
Mhm.
up there, and so we all battled that. And so whoever won that would go to the premiere,
Okay.
and we didn't win. Break Skate ended up winning, and I
Oh,
think we
okay.
ended up at like 3rd place or something like that.
Mhm.
So, but we did get on the special features of the DVD.
Yeah.
Hey.
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 Say,
So we got
whatever.
that.
We in there.
I have the
Yeah.
DVD. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, what else have you done, like entertainment wise?
I did a TV show called Roller Jam back in. It went from like '98 to 2000.
Mhm.
Did like 4 seasons of that.
Mhm.
You can find some silly clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was an inline roller derby show, stage, like big time, like wrestling.
Mhm.
Big showy stuff, big flips and
Mhm.
jumps and body slams and getting smacked over the head with garbage cans and stuff like that. I did that for like 4 seasons down in Florida, and then moved back home for a while and started helping out with the roller derby scene when they were just getting started. I did a couple of local TV commercials up in Seattle. I did the Enchanted movie from Disney back in 2007.
Mhm.
Was that a cartoon or was that the live action?
It was cartoon to live. So it
Yeah.
started out as a cartoon and went to a live production thing with
Yeah.
Patrick Dempsey and Amy
Yeah.
Adams.
Oh, okay.
They were in New York.
Mhm.
So I did that, spent 28 days in New York City filming that.
Wow.
which was really cool.
Yeah, that's Disney, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
He said, yes,
yeah.
sir.
That's why all them birds is back there
I
chirping.
know.
They followed you
Like,
home.
hey, Disney, call me up. Got
Wow.
you.
So how was that? Like you was
Yeah.
at home chilling, and then Disney called you, or did you have an agent?
No, actually, I didn't have an agent. I had a bunch of friends of mine who were in New York. Some friends of mine from Amsterdam had a little skate show they did, like a Broadway kind of show
Mhm.
that they did that involved, roller skating and inline skating and music and dance and ramps and all that stuff. And they had come to Seattle and they heard about me. They heard about me skating in Seattle and they wanted to meet me.
Mm.
So I met these guys. We hung out for the weekend. I took them to all the skating rinks and showed them because they don't really have a lot of rinks over in Europe.
Yeah.
So we became really good friends. A couple of years go by. They're in New York off Broadway doing their show, and I happened to see them there. I was there for another event. I think I was there with a guy I worked with during like Fashion Week or something like that.
Mhm.
And they were there, and there was a casting call for this movie. And somebody from the casting crew saw their show and wanted them to come and actually be in the movie. But because they were foreigners, they didn't have work visas and everything else,
Oh.
they couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, "Hey, you need to get our friend Mo."
Mhm.
And that it kind of went from there. They were like, "Hey, you need to get our friend Mo, man. He's the guy. You need to have him in this movie."
Yeah.
So I had left, and then I got a phone call saying, "Hey, we're doing a casting call for these skaters, blah blah blah. It's in New York. Can you come out here? Can you send us a video or something like that?" So I sent them a little video clip, via email or whatever it was.
Mhm.
And they're like, "Yeah, we want you to come out for the casting call." I'm like, "All right, cool." So go to New York, do the casting call, hang out with some friends, and then next thing you know, all right, you're good, you got it,
Wow.
we'll use you.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, let's get it.
Yeah.
What does it do? What do we get? Oh,
Mhm.
it's gonna be a SAG event, which is the Screen Actors Guild
Yeah.
Mhm.
Union.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be $900 a day.
Mhm. Mm.
Okay, plus residuals.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, I'm cool with just the $900 a day. Well, how long? How many days I got to be here? 28 days.
Oh,
That's
nice.
a
I
nice
was like,
bag.
So yeah.
I'm like, 28 days in New York?
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm like, what? What? How am I supposed to pay for this? And the reason they shot it, they cast it in New York because they didn't want to pay people to for hotels and food
Yeah.
for 28 days.
Mhm.
So they casted locals who live in the area
Okay.
for the movie. So they're
Mm.
like, well, you don't have to stay out here.
Mm.
You ain't gonna be flying back and forth on
Yeah.
days off or whatever.
Yeah.
So I had a friend who lived there in Brooklyn. She let me sleep on her floor for the whole time. So
Mhm.
went there, shot the movie, met up with Roger G, who's like a New York skate
Yeah.
legend.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
actually have an interview with him.
You guys know
Yeah.
Roger G?
Yeah, we
Yes.
actually did an interview with
Yep.
him.
He will be coming
Very
up
cool.
next week.
Very
Yeah.
cool
So
guy.
got to hang out with Roger G. Got to meet Skate Master Chuck.
Mhm.
If you know him,
Mm.
I got to meet Chuck Goins, who's one of the smoothest and cleanest skaters you will ever see.
Mhm.
And then a bunch of other guys that I made pretty good friends with. So we did that, hung out, skated, did the Roxy thing. I did Empire. I missed the skate key. That was before me and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, it was good. It
You
was
was
really
living the
good.
life.
I know.
Man.
Yeah.
I know.
So
Man.
With
and then yeah, well, go ahead.
with all that you've done, and I know you like some of the younger things, like you said, you got your $300 you thought you was on. Do you wish that, or do you, when looking back, do you wish that you had an agent so that you could have monetized a little bit better on your craft, and like in this point, you would have had a little bit, you've been paid or compensated based on your skill and your art level versus you just saying, I'm cool with that.
Do you still get paid?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
does residuals
Really?
for Enchanted and
So that pretty
yeah.
much just keeps on going.
Well, yeah, it goes for, I can't remember what the time frame was, but The check stopped coming. The residual check stopped coming about 4 years ago.
Okay.
So when they actually no, they ran for like 10 years.
Wow.
I was getting residual checks for 10 years.
Wow. That's
yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Man, I need
really
to find
nice.
a movie I can get
Yeah.
in.
But yeah, speaking about the agent part of it, it was a little tough then because I had a girlfriend, then we got married, and we had a couple of kids. So I was trying to take care of that.
Right.
And then after my divorce and stuff, then I was traveling a whole lot more. One of my good friends, Terrell, who's a casting agent and actor down in LA, he was always telling me, man, you need to come down to LA, man. We could be in here making this and doing that, and, get you an agent and everything else. But, I had, wife and kids to take care of. And I was like, hey, I got to eat. My wife didn't want me out here running around the streets, trying to be skater man and having agents. And
Skater man.
When there's two kids around and stuff like that. So it was, it's kind of like a thing that's kind of just missed. But, I'm glad, things came out the way they did. Because, I still get to do the stuff. I still get to have fun. And, I've had, the experience of, doing all the stuff. And I can still get out there and do it.
Do you still hold the record of jumping over the most people? I think you jumped over, 14 people?
Yeah, it's not an official record.
It's official to us.
I know that's right. You ever land on anybody in attempting to do that?
I know how many people were hurt in the attempt.
Yeah. For real?
Nobody's been hurt yet.
Okay.
I grazed somebody's leg one time. I know that.
Ooh.
But I ain't falling on nobody. I ain't kicked nobody in the teeth like that video from Cascade.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch it, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. We got to work on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my little record. I was always known for like jumping stuff. So yeah, I would jump people at some halftime shows at the roller derby event. So if you get on YouTube and look up, Quadzilla jumping or jumps or something like that, you'll see me jumping over, 10, 11 bodies. I did a stack of 20 skaters up in Canada where I piled them up, like eight
pile them up
on top of each other. Yeah. It's just me being silly me.
But hey, look where it got you though. Look where it got you.
Right.
Shoot, I gotta find me some midgets to jump over or something. So I can't jump on a big.
Can't do real full size people.
Yeah, no.
Sir, let's keep it PC. Little people.
Little people. Yeah,
sorry,
little people.
Little people. Yeah.
Watch out for y'all head.
I'm coming through. I'm coming.
Yeah, so I still got a couple of hops here and there.
Okay.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool.
I know.
That's actually pretty cool.
My last thing was a Nike commercial I filmed, and I actually used one of my homeboys from Houston in it. It was a Nike Make a Miss commercial with Russell Wilson.
Oh, okay.
And that was a couple years ago. And it's pretty good. We're actually skating in football uniforms like the San Francisco 49ers against the Seahawks.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, and they're playing bounce rock skate in the background.
Wow, that's all right.
Yeah, I gotta find that. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, we got to see if we can find that on YouTube.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I helped them with the stunt coordination stuff, and I helped them with the casting call and hiring all the skaters and stuff for the commercial. There's some production assistant stuff.
Yeah. If you need somebody for a commercial, hit me up.
Too. Hey, them checks was nice too.
Wow.
So do you do a lot more like consulting now than actually performing, or
for
skating, for roller skating? Do more people reach out to you because of your abilities and they need you to help choreograph or consulting on what they want to do for a skate commercial, or do you do more still performing in commercials?
Oh no, I'm performing. I'm trying to perform in everything. Yeah, I'm trying to be that guy. The only consulting I've done is, with like some rinks. They've asked me about, running their sessions or, their adult night or how to get, more people in the rink or something like that. I've done a couple of those things here, but for the skating side, if it's a commercial something, I'm trying to be in the commercial.
I'm in it.
I'm trying to
need
get that work.
bag.
But I'll be a stunt coordinator and every skating coordinator. Whenever somebody needs something, I'll let you know. I've helped a couple of people, some choreographers, dance choreographers, with some skating tips and stuff because they've done like a production of this show or that show, and they wanted to use roller skates, things like that. So
did you do some breakdancing on skates?
Of course.
Was you turboing it?
Yeah, right. Well, that's what you call jam skating. That's the jam skating stuff.
Wow. So you actually have a pretty long resume then. That's actually pretty dope.
Yeah. And internationally, when you traveled internationally, what were some of the places that you went to for? Was that for roller derby or for quad skating or both?
Both. Like when I first started traveling internationally, it was for the blades, it's for the inline skates.
Okay.
So my job, as being the sponsor skater, I'm also like the spokesperson, for the brand. So when you saw me, I was, Mr. K2.
Okay.
That was it. So I would go to different trade shows around the world. I would go meet with different skate distributors, to like put on little demos, little shows, show them how the product works, show them, why this is good, why that's bad. So they picked me up, threw me on a plane to go to Europe for a month and a half. So I started out in Amsterdam, and then I was with the distributor up there. Then I went to Belgium. I was with the distributor down there. I was at ISPO, which is the big international sports trade show in Germany, and they have every year. So I was in Germany. Then I was all over Germany. Then I was in France. I went to Switzerland, Benelux, Luxembourg, all those spots, hanging out with different distributors and talking about the product, showing them how to use the product, everything else. Then they put me on another plane. Hey, you're going down to Malaysia.
Hey.
I'm doing what?
Wow.
What is a Malaysia?
I knew somebody named Malaysia.
So I'm going down here to Malaysia, staying down there for, a week and a half, hanging out with the distributors, and like, oh, okay, well, now that you're done with this guy, we got, this distributor over here in Indonesia. They want you to come down there and skate, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
So then I'll do that. Okay. Now you're off to Australia. Now you're off to Korea. You got to go to the factories and see how the stuff works. And, South Africa, South America. So
out of all of those travels, which one did you appreciate the most?
Appreciate the most?
Yeah.
Ooh. In what sense?
In any sense, whatever brought you the most joy from being there and performing or skating or whatever you did there. Just the culture, just the people, the reception of the people.
Yeah. Man. That's tough. That's a tough one. Australia's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Because they know about skating, but they don't know about our type of skating, really.
Right.
But I fell in love with Barcelona as soon as I went there.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's so many reasons.
Barcelona's my jam. Like that's just it. And Japan's. Japan is the one.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a tough question. Because it's weird because they don't have the skate culture like we have there. So when you go there, it's I'm looking at architecture and all that other stuff, and they're like, "Yo, show some skate stuff. Show some skate stuff." So it's like I appreciate all the stuff around in the different areas. Skate culture wise, I think Paris was probably like the dopest one for me.
Okay.
Skate culture wise, is because they never stopped skating on quads.
Okay.
Okay.
And that was the thing. Is like when people started doing inline stuff here all the time, it was no more quads, and quads died off. But then when I went over to Europe, they were still, holding down the roller skating, the actual quad stuff. And I went to Paris, and they were still doing like slalom stuff, and they're doing high jumps, and they're doing dance stuff, and they're all on quads, and it's by the Eiffel Tower and Trocadero and all this other stuff. And you're like looking at it, just thinking, I was not supposed to be here. What am I doing here? Never imagined I would be here, but it was cool because they were into it, all the way live. And I was like, okay, I like this. I need to do this more.
Wow.
So you're not with K2 anymore, correct? You're not like
no.
Okay.
No.
So now I can ask you this question. Honestly, and you can honestly answer. So many times you'll see people promoting a product, and I want to know, like, yet you were a skater and the product was good for that time, but did you really believe in the product? Like, you'll see somebody with a Kia, daggone well Russell Williams ain't in no Kia. But did you really believe in the product as you were going around, or did you kind of develop, a love for the product, or how did you feel truly about it?
No, the K2 stuff was good.
Okay.
They were, when I first got on with them, the first skate they had for aggressive skating. So they had fitness skates first, and their fitness skates were good because everything back then was rollerblade, and then there was another company called Ultra Wheels, which was not good. Rollerblade was like the king.
Right.
And then K2 came out, and they had like this whole new innovative technology because all inline skates back in the day were just plastic shells with a big puffy liner inside. That's what all rollerblades were. K2 did this thing called soft boot technology, which was a knit, top, and it was merged together with a plastic shell. So it was like half a shell and then knit material on top, and this nice soft foam and cool colors, and didn't look like some giant, moon boot or something.
Yeah.
It didn't look like, just a giant work boot or ski boot. And so you're like, yo, these are dope. Like they're soft, they're breathable, they're comfortable. And we were like, yeah, we can rock with these. So we got on those. We're like, this is the jam right here. And then they're like, hey, we're going to do like a aggressive inline skate for, freestyle, half pipe skate park stuff. And then, they introduced me to that. That one was like subpar, and it wasn't like it was bad quality. It's just that the person who had designed it wasn't an aggressive, park skater.
Okay.
He just took like his regular boot and he just put like this cool looking frame on it and said, okay, this is the skate you're going to use. And we're like, okay, we'll try it out.
Yeah.
And it was an okay skate, but it wasn't for what we needed. And then, as time went on, over the next couple of years, we developed the actual good skate that's still being used, to this day. So yeah, the product was good. The product was really good. There was a brand I skated on. The product was crap, but I wasn't really promoting it. I just did some stuff. They gave me a couple of bucks to skate on it and shoot a little promotional video, being silly, and then that was it. I was never running around going, yeah, this is the brand.
Right.
Get this.
It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And the funny thing is the guy that got me to skate on those was the guy that went on to help K2 develop their line. So I'm like, sweet, you got something that really works.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How many of them shirts you got? Because almost every single picture I don't see you in, you got that shirt on.
Yeah, all colors.
I'm like, he must got stock in that T-shirt company.
Or it's his.
It's mine.
All right now.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like, shoot, I need one of them. You might have to sit,
I got you.
I'm like, he got them things everywhere, but.
I got you. Send me the address. I'll put them in the mail.
All right now.
Okay. Yeah. So for y'all that are listening.
I made these shirts, a couple years ago, and I actually used it to fund my trip when I was in Barcelona. So I was selling them.
Okay.
So packing my bag, I was like, hey man, y'all sell these, 20 euros.
Yeah.
And call it a day. And I brought I think I brought 25 t-shirts with me or something. Sold them out. I'm like, there you go. Trip's paid for.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, I'm gonna need one of them, but yours is fitted. I don't need mine fitted. I got that quarantine stomach coming. So, I'm gonna need mine a little loose.
You got the COVID-19 pounds?
Yeah, the COVID-19 pounds on me. You know what I'm saying?
He's sucking it in right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass out. So it so much right now. So I'm on camera recording. So real quick before we get out of here, you had said something about DJing. So what was your DJ name?
I was just Mo.
Okay.
Just Mo.
I was just Mo.
Oh,
I did a little stint, doing some battle DJ stuff, and it was Rekka, REKKA, but it wasn't like anything. I didn't use that when I was DJing at the ring or anything like that.
Okay.
It was kind of like little scratch battle DJ name stuff that I had, but it was just Mo.
oh,
And then my friends would be like, "Oh, that's black ass Mo," or the other way they know me is like if somebody goes, "Hey, you know Mo? Which Mo? You know, Skater Mo." Oh yeah, Skater Mo. Everybody knows me, Skater Mo.
Oh man, that's pretty dope. So how can the skaters connect with you?
You can reach me on Instagram. It's under Quadzilla LK, or Mo Sanders MO.
Mm-hmm.
You can reach me on Facebook. I got a Quadzilla LK page.
Mm-hmm.
Got a Maurice Sanders is my you have to do your official original real
government
name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just like, oh man. And I got all these people calling me, "Hey Maurice." As soon as somebody says, "Hey Maurice, good to meet you," I know they don't know me.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, there ain't nobody called me Maurice since high school. They started calling me. My oldest, longest living friend, Mike Kennedy, started calling me Mo back in high school. He would just call me Mo. And he was the first one to start calling me that. Then it just started sticking. So then it was just Mo from here on out.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mo Sanders. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. You can find the Von Merlin Wheels on Instagram as well.
Okay.
And website. We're trying to do it.
Nice. So what's next for you?
Ooh, man, I'm trying to find out where I can travel next because every September I do the Skate Love Barcelona event.
Yeah.
I help with that, and so I'm in Barcelona. That's my yearly trip, and that got canceled.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see where I can go next. I was thinking about driving up the rink up in Oklahoma. They got a good little session. I want to come down to Houston. Wild Child's like, "Yo, we got a session here," so he's sending me the flyers and stuff.
Hey.
He's got a session going on there. But I want to go to Atlanta. I got to get out there. I got to get the sparkles. I got to get the Cascade.
You ready to move around?
Night. Yeah.
I don't need skate-a-thon night. I just need a regular skate night.
All right now.
I can move, get my elbows out and stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, wherever, I don't know. I need to get out somewhere. Stuff would drive me nuts.
Wow. Well, we greatly appreciate you taking out the time to speak with us today. It was definitely a pleasure. And
I appreciate being on. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Like I said, I finally get to put a face with the name, and you one of me. So my dark skinned brother, I appreciate you.
Hey, it's all love.
Yeah, appreciate the conversation. The booty butt cheek thing I could have probably did with that.
Ladies,
but,
I'm gonna post that. I will have that posted. You can go to my page if he doesn't want to post it on Skaters Connect, but we have access.
Let me get ready to hit that unfollow button.
I got friends out there that's doing something like that, I think. I ain't the only one. Why are you talking about me?
Because we're talking about you today. It's all about you. But one thing that would be dope if the skate community could come together and do something like the RollerCon thing, that would be totally dope. Yeah. That would be totally dope.
I've been wanting to do that for the longest time, and I was talking to them at RollerCon before about if you want to make this a full roller skating convention, not just roller derby convention.
Right.
Try and incorporate this stuff here because everybody comes together.
Yeah.
But there's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
With the roller derby community skate community and the world in general. On a PC level, on a personal level, different things that kind of have to take place in order for that to work.
Yeah.
But I think something like Skateathon could easily do that, and
Yeah.
there's so many people that
Yeah.
come to that. When we do Skate Love Barcelona, it's similar. We do workshops. We have a big old open free skate event during the day. We have a couple of skate parties during the weekend, but it's really just everybody out there just jamming. We got beats doing this, and everybody's teaching each other and learning from each other. But we actually have private workshops where you pay a couple extra bucks to go in there and work with Quadzilla, and he's going to teach you this, this, and that. And you work with an artistic skater, and you work with different people from different countries doing their different style of skating. But we can make it happen. We just got to do it.
Yeah.
We'll be working on that. We're gonna call you.
Okay. Let's
we
get
need
it.
All right.
Yeah, get some stuff
let's get it.
together. So for those of you guys who are paying, who are I was about to say pay attention, who are listening right now, we greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys have a good weekend. On Monday, we have Eric Austin. That's going to be another live interview. Also, don't forget, share the app, gift the app. Sharing is caring.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you don't have a YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, just make an account and just it's easy. Just make an account and hit that subscribe button for us. We greatly appreciate it. This Sunday we'll be back at the
Skate World.
Skate World, and we are going to try to live stream it again. This past Sunday it was raining really bad, so the stream was kind of
it was really bad this weekend. But
now, what time is that on Sunday?
It's from 8:30 to 11:30.
8:30 to 11:30. So hope you guys can tune into that. Again, be safe. The rinks are starting to open back up. You guys have fun. Be safe. Abide by the rules, please. Because the last thing we want to do is go back on lockdown, because then y'all gonna be crying again. So that's what we do not want. So again, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Skate World, you guys are awesome. And until next time, we will see you on the wood.